Hi you guys, and welcome to episode 0 of season 2 of Rimworld. Episode 0 because this will just be the setup for the colony. If you don't want to bother watching the colony, instead skip straight to episode 1, that will be landing today at around about the same time this one comes out. So feel free to skip over this one and continue straight to the first episode itself. We'll be looking at the mods here and setting up our first 3 survivors. So let's jump straight into it. Let's take a look at what version Alpha 16 provides for us. Alpha 16 is pretty different to Alpha 14. There's been quite a lot of changes. We now have a globe. We have drugs. We have the ability to mine in the ground. We have all sorts of different things. Rebalancing. The storytellers have been rebalanced, so Cassandra might act differently. So let's just look at the mods though, because I have added mods as well. I am a person who is wont to play with mods. I'm going to skip over this one because this is just an API, but we also have Colony Manager, which we had last season. We've got Architect Sense, which is an API type thing as well. Medical tab, which allows us to look at the health of our colonists at a glance. Stuffed floors, which allows us to build floors out of stuff rather than the floors being out of specific materials. ED embrasures, which we had last season as well, allows us to build embrasures. More vanilla turrets. We did have this, but it was called ED turrets because Marnador had not created or updated their more vanilla turrets for Alpha 14. So JAXA did updated more vanilla turrets and called it ED turrets. Now that it's version 16 and Marnador has updated more vanilla turrets to version 16, ED is no longer supplying their own version. So we have the original version here. Efficient light, we had this last time too, cuts the power usage of a light bulb from 75 to 25. Crafting hysteresis, which is amazing, I love this one. The best way to describe it would be to use the example of a chef or a cook pawn. And let's say that we want to cook 30 meals for the colony, right? So once that cook has created 30 meals, if another pawn comes along and eats one of those meals, the cook will immediately stop what they're doing and go back, if it's a priority job, which it usually is, will immediately stop what they're doing and go back and cook that one missing meal. What crafting hysteresis does is that the chef cooks up to 30 meals and then the bill for that job pauses, which means the chef can no longer work on it until it's unpaused, right? So, but the important part is that it also allows it to automatically unpause once the numbers fall under a certain amount. In this case, let's say of those 30 meals, once 10 of them are eaten, so now we have 20 meals, the bill will unpause, which then makes the cook go and start cooking again, and he'll go cook 10 meals and then it'll pause again. The reason why this is good is because it means that any pawn that is usually a cook or anyone that's doing any task that is craft up to this many X means that they won't go and stop what they're doing to go and do that all the time. They'll always pause and come back to it, allowing them to do other jobs until you think you need to bring those stocks back up, right? We could say the same thing for bricks. I want to have 500 bricks on in stock. Don't make any more bricks until we fall to 250 and then bring it back up to 500, right? Another example. So crafting hysteresis, awesome. RT fuse, we had this last time as well. It will capture a certain event that happens called a BZZZT event, which is where the batteries short circuit, losing all their power normally, but what the RT fuse does, or the circuit breaker, it will stop 3 connected batteries, as you can see in this image here, that is actually accurate. It will stop up to 3 batteries from losing the power during that event. The event will still happen, but it'll stop 3 sets of batteries losing that power. More trade ships means that once you have an orbital trade station, more trade ships will show up, because otherwise they're quite rare. Extended storage provides different containers for storing objects. Reclaimed fabric allows you to break down poor and, well, lets you break down any apparel whatsoever and reclaim fabric from it. Advanced power generation, we didn't have this one. This one adds an advanced solar panel, an advanced wind turbine, an advanced geothermal, and a nuclear station, power station. So we have options for better power later in the game. We have expanded prosthesis and organ engineering. We had this last time as well. It just allows for more advanced bionics for your characters. Last season I tried to turn some of our characters slowly and kind of unsuccessfully into metahumans by replacing all their body parts with bionic body parts. We only got a little ways into that before everything went horribly wrong. I don't know whether I'll be trying to do that this season, but it's nice to have this mod around because it is very powerful and very fun. This one we didn't have. This one's new, Rim Fridge. It is amazing. It is so simple, but it is so amazing. It allows you to build fridges, fridge containers similar to extended storage, but they are refrigerated, so any meals on those tiles will not be able to spoil. This allows you, for example, in the last season, we had a room which had all our food in it, including prepared meals, because it was the only room in the village that had temperature control down to freezing levels, so that no food would spoil while it was in there. But that was a problem because it would mean pawns would have to come in and out of the freezer to grab their meals, and that is just annoying, and they had to travel a further distance or whatever. This, for example, what we can do is we can have the cook's freezer, which is filled with all the raw materials, and then we can have one of these rim fridges in the dining room and have it stocked up with meals, so that the pawns that want to eat something don't have to go miles away to get their food. They just have to grab their food and go sit at the table. Yay! Great. Tilled soil. I haven't really tried this one out. I grabbed it for aesthetic reasons. A simple mod that adds tilled soil, the constructible version of rich soil. So, it seems kind of overpowered, if I'm being honest. But I've only tried it on rich soil before. I've not tried it on normal soil. I should have tested that. But what happened is rich soil, when you grow something on normal soil, it usually has a 100% growth stat. It means it will grow at a normal speed, 100% of its growing speed. Rich soil has 140% growth speed. So it means it grows 0.4 or nearly half? Yeah, nearly half again as fast as it was, right? 50% faster. This case 40% faster on rich soil. Tilled soil, when I made it on rich soil, put it up to 200, which means it's growing 200% faster, or twice as fast. And I hope that was just because I put it on rich soil, like it improved the rich soil that it was on, and that it's not going to be 200% if I put it on normal soil. Who knows? It was cool anyway. We might use it. It might be cheaty, but it'll be fun. Miscellaneous training facilities. Adds like shooting target, a martial arts dummy, and an archery target. This allows our characters to train up in different combat skills without having to wipe the map clean of animal life. Because that would be the only way between raids for our characters to improve their shooting or melee skill normally. In this case, it allows our characters to improve their shooting skill or their martial arts skill by practicing on dummies. It is a joy activity, so they'll only train during their joy hours. Although the shooting target and martial arts dummy, I don't think they provide joy, only that they're used during joy hours. So you have to be careful and not always let your characters go and train training dummies, because I don't think that'll improve their joy situation if they're always spending it training. But you do have an archery target as well, which is a purely joy activity, which is pretty cool. Fences and floors, I grabbed this one specifically because of its aesthetics, but it does have functional use. It adds wood fences, chain link fences, high security fences, security barriers, sensor panels, metal panels, steel grating, and plywood panels. Pretty cool. I think the security barriers act like improved sandbags. High security fence and chain link fence and wood fence block movement but can be fired through, kind of like embrasures, which is pretty cool. We have industrial rollers, because why don't we try and Factorio our Rimworld a little bit, huh? This one I'm not too sure on, because I've got a lot of comments. Looking through the comments for the mod, there's a lot of comments that say it's very laggy. We'll see. We may end up removing the mod, we may not. But it sounds pretty fun nonetheless. Allows us to create industrial rollers, which will move items without our pawns having to move them. We've added the fish industry mod, which allows our hunters to do something other than, well, to be useful in hunting when they're not hunting. Right? It's the lowest priority hunting task that a hunter can do, where they'll go and fish up stuff and bring it back to the base, and we can cook fish, and that will be a meat source, which is pretty great. Concrete walls. Oh, I think this also allows us to breed fish, which is pretty neat. So we don't necessarily have to use the ocean, but we will probably be using the ocean, and you'll see what I mean by that. Concrete walls, this is pretty great. Adds super powerful walls to the game. They have like 1,200 health, which is insane, but they're quite hard to make. Say 5 times stronger than a stone wall. That though is a little bit up in the air, because there's the difference between sandstone, which is very weak, and granite, which is very strong. So who knows which stone wall they mean. But anyway, it's very, very strong, but you need to research it, and you also need to make it out of 2 stone blocks and some steel to make 1 concrete slab, and each wall is made of multiple concrete slabs. So it can be quite expensive, but pretty cool. So priority defense walls. Chem fuel generator. It's just a chem fuel powered generator. Chem fuel was added in A16. I'm not sure if it was added in A15. Someone can tell me. But it allows us to run a generator on fuel. There is the fueled generator, but this one is slightly more powerful, but it runs on chem fuel, which you have to refine. Hospitality. Orion's hospitality is fantastic. It's really fun. You can create like guest houses for visiting factions, who will then be, who you then host. You have pawns who will host those characters, and they have an area to themselves, and they can sleep and enjoy joy activities and eat and so on. And if they enjoyed their stay, they can join you, they can leave you gifts, or you can improve the faction's standing just by how well you treated them. It's pretty neat. Hand Me That Brick. So good. I love this mod. Hand Me That Brick allows haulers to bring materials to construction sites. Normally, only the pawn with the construction tag would bring materials to construction sites, meaning that it could be really inefficient, which is why you always had to set up those stockpiles near to large construction jobs, particularly when it came to walls and things like that, because the constructors would need them nearby. With this, anyone marked with hauling can bring the resources needed for the construction to the construction site itself, preparing it for the person who's going to construct it. They won't actually construct it themselves, only the constructor will, but they'll put the resources into the construction. So good. Crash landing. I won't say anything about this because it's better seen than talked about, and we will see it on the very, very first episode. I swear to you. Rimworld Feral. This adds a new faction of mutants to the game. They're really mean. They're meaner than bandits. They come in smaller amounts, but they're meaner than bandits. So they're a tougher challenge, but they're also unique. So we'll have some fun with that. And Wild Heal Route. Because we're going to be going into a rainforest, spoilers, we're going to have Wild Heal Route, and this Wild Heal Route will allow us to create basic medicine. This is important in a rainforest because pawns get sick often. They can build up immunity to certain sicknesses if they have it enough and heal it enough, of course, but this will allow us to deal with early sickness without it overwhelming our colony and creating a very short season, right? So, that's the mods for now, because the thing is that this is not set in stone. We may add mods, we may remove mods. There's like already a couple of mods that I'm thinking of adding, which may be in episode 3, because I'm going to immediately, episode 2, because I'm going to immediately create episode 1 after I've done this. So there is subject to change, and once I've come across what I think is a solid mix, I'll create a workshop package like I did with the last set of mods, so that you guys can have the same mods that I'm playing with on your game. Cool? Alright, and I'll make sure that they're always all only Steam ones. As you can see, these are all Steam mods, so that they're all easy to grab and install. So anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? That's the mods. Let's start a new colony. We now have crash landing easy. Difference between crash landing and crash landed. But we're going to do crash landing easy. We're not going to do hard. Hard's horrible. You'll see what I mean once we get started. We'll do crash landing easy. And we'll do medium on Cassandra. And I'm going to do a full globe. You don't have to do a full globe, but I'm going to do a full globe. I'm going to put the rainfall up. Whoops, that's temperature. Rainfall. And I am going to make the seed Rorax so that you guys can play along if you want to. And generate. Okay, so we have generated a world. This screen looks a lot different to how it used to, huh? We now have a full 3D globe in which to choose a colony to start on. Here's the North Pole. Here's the South Pole. You can see all these mountainous ridges and stuff. It's all very cool. There's one feature missing from this that was in Alpha 14 that I wish was in this one. You could turn on those different filters to show you elevation and temperature and rainfall areas. That doesn't exist currently, which kind of sucks, but we'll manage. I'll look for something. So, things to take note of this time around. Each colour is a faction. So, this one is White Pelican Lurcher, this one is White Pelican Lurcher, this one is White Pelican Lurcher, this is Meslior, this one will be Meslior, this one will be Meslior, you get the idea. This is our Feral faction, they're called the Takers, and this is our Bandit faction, the Landmine Mantises. Oh dear. I love the intimidating bandit names. In this version, we don't have multiple bandit factions. They're always going to be the Landmine Mantises, but they could possibly come from different bandit villages, right? So this is Soldier's Ridge, Deadbeats Village, Owl's District, and Termite River, right? So those are all possible places that bandits could come from. And that's kind of how the faction system is working at the moment. I think Tynan plans on like separating things so that it won't always just be the Landmine Mantises, and this won't always be Melisor, and this won't always be Purple Valley, etc, etc. But what we're going to do now is we're going to try and find a nice place to live. And I've been thinking that the place that we should live is on a beach. The beach sounds kind of fun. So, we've got large hills. It's marble, sandstone, and limestone. And this is a rainforest, which is nice. It's got 2,900 millimeters of rain a year, which is pretty crazy. Large hills, marble, sandstone, limestone. It's on a it'll have a northern coast. So we can pick the coast that we want. Right, northern coast there, western coast there, etc, etc. Northern coast. Doesn't really matter where the coast is, to be honest, but that's just how the system works now. Is there a better large hill, marble and sandstone, with better stone type? Because that would be nice. That's mountainous. We won't do mountainous again, because not only did we do mountainous last time, it's more viable to do things like large hills, small hills, and even flats now. Now that there's more options for getting materials that didn't exist before. Small hills, large hills. Oh, that's not a rainforest. Your mountains, your large hills, slate and marble. That's not bad. It's got more than 3,000. So that's a good one, possibly. Large hills, granite, marble, and limestone. Has less rain though. I want a really rainy rainforest. I don't know why. I just kind of like the idea of having rain all the time. Wow. Granite and slate. Large hills. 4.5 thousand millimeters of rain. I think we take this one. Let's take this one, and that's going to have a southern coast. Oops. Where was that? Oh, it's still selected. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? It should show up where it was selected. There was one option I forgot to change. Was it over here? Oh no, I've lost it, haven't I? I've lost it. I'm gonna hope that you're still selected. What I wanted to do was change it to a large map. That's what I forgot to do. So, I think we've still got that selected. Cool. Alright. So, this is the bit where we pick the characters. I'm going to stick to the same way I did it in Season 1. I'm only going to have 10 re-rolls per character, which prevents me from rolling until they're all perfect. And ideally, we roll less than 10, because the 11th character, regardless of what it is, I have to take it, right? So, what it ideally will do is make me take characters that are interesting and not necessarily perfect. Just good enough for our colony to survive. So, I can already tell I'm probably not going to want this person. They're sanguine, which is pretty good, but they're also nervous and trigger happy and incapable of intellectual, artistic, and cooking. So, we won't take that. That's one. Lazy, trigger happy, and fast walker and incapable of intellectual. They got okay cooking in that it starts at 7 as passionate, but I don't think so either. 2. Pyromaniac, nope. 3. Bloodlust. Kate gets rushed from hurting people and never minds the sight of blood or death. She is twice as likely to start a social fight. Yeah, it's not so good. She's an optimist, and she's trigger happy. And she's incapable of intellectual and scary. I can't remember what scary is. I know scary is firefighting, so she won't firefight because fire is scary. But I can't remember whether that stops her from getting involved in combat or not, which would be ridiculous because she's a good melee character. 4. Green thumb, abrasive, trigger happy, incapable of scary. That's not so bad. Because you have good stats. Sort of. No, you do. Interest is good. One flame, which is interested in something, is good. Do you have skills that we potentially want to have? Tell you what, we'll leave you there. You're on reroll number 4, and we'll work on someone else. So, Von Schlid Medic. Would be nice to have a medic, but you're incapable of social and artistic. And you're kind, but you have creepy breathing. Which means you get along with people, but people don't necessarily get along with you. 1. Yeah, right, you're the growing person. Okay, gotta remember that. Growing person. Medicine 12. Capable of cleaning. Could probably live with that. Because that still means that you can haul and stuff, but you're volatile. Oh, that's just plain bad. Plus 15% mental break threshold. Eek. Should really say minus 15%. I'm not sure why it says plus 15. Probably something to do with the way that the mental break threshold works. And you're across the file, which means that you're going to start with a permanent mood debuff until we could give you a bionic or a prosthesis anyway. So despite you being an excellent doctor, I don't actually. A doctor that has mental breaks all the time is not a good doctor. 2. You're passionate for medicine. You have lower medicine, but you're passionate for it. And you're a decent cook. You're incapable of intellectual. You're prostaphobe, which means I think they get a buff if they don't have any prosthetics, but if you give them a prosthetic, they'll get grumpy. But you're also neurotic. See, plus 8%, not terrible. But you suck at everything else. 3. Jogger and aesthetic. Aesthetic's actually useful, because it means you don't need to give them much. And you're a good doctor. And you're a good shot. I think we stick with AJ, yeah? Yeah. I think we stick with AJ for sure. Okay. AJ's good. Then we have Ryan, who is incapable of scary and cleaning. You're a creepy breather. You're a prostaphobe, and you're a slowpoke. But you have high social skill, you have high cooking skill, high medicine, high animals, and high research with an interest in it. Ooh. This is bad. This one is bad. Because it means people hate them. And that potentially means a lot of mood debuffs, yeah? It's not terrible, though. It's not terrible. You're incapable of scary and cleaning. You can clean, you can clean. Got 2 people incapable of scary. And we will have more characters, and you'll see what I mean. So I think we take these 3. You're abrasive, though. You're a good grower. But do we want that? You're on 4 rerolls. Do we want that if it means having somebody who's abrasive? Green Thumb is excellent. Because it means you'll be in a good mood a lot. Abrasive is so bad, though. Like, this will mean, for example, that Sly will probably insult Jung all the time. Right? So, I don't think so. I think we say 5. You're incapable of mining, you're psychically dull, which is good, but you're volatile. 6. You're prostophile and a fast walker. You're incapable of social or artistic. You're an excellent shot. And you've got a passion for research. But it's not very high. It's possible we'll have somebody good at growing later on, and I just don't know whether I'm prepared to take that risk. But otherwise, you're pretty great. No, because we have AJ, right? So I think we don't take you. 7. Pyromaniac, absolutely not. 8. Hard worker and gay, good at growing, okay, well. You've got asthma, which is pretty bad, but that can be solved if we can get that character there. You're incapable of caring, social, or scary. I think we got 2 people. Oh no, you're the only one incapable of social. You're incapable of caring, but you don't need to be a doctor. Yeah, okay. I think we take Yuka. Because they're a hard worker and that doesn't really affect anything. So, as the only female, you will be me. There we go. But as for the names for everyone else, as I talked about in the last season, the names aren't going to be picked until episode 2 of Rimworld, just because what I want from you guys is for you to be able to interact with this video and episode 1 so that I can get the list of names collected so that we can give names out in episode 2. I hope that sounds good. So, I think with that, we're good to go. Alright, I'll see you on the other side.